Hey, what is going on, everyone? My name is Lepri of Awesemo.com, and in today's video, we'll be breaking down some NFL news as well as injuries for the NFL Divisional Round weekend. Inside of today's video, we'll also be discussing how these news blurbs could affect the DFS slate this weekend. But before we could get into things, I would like to ask if you are new to the channel and you do end up enjoying today's video, to please make sure that you do hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, whether you are new to the channel or not, please make sure to hit that like button down below. It would help us out a ton. And if you would like to follow me on Twitter, to please do so at NotoriousFNTSY. So without further ado, let's get into my divisional round injury/news roundup. So we begin with Derrick Henry, running back of the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are expected to activate Derrick Henry today off of the injury reserve to face off up against the Bengals this weekend. This is one of those situations where it's a little bit confusing, where I believe you should be tempering your expectations of Derrick Henry. It is entirely possible that Derrick Henry goes out there and completely dominates the Cincinnati Bengals defense. He drops his normal 100+ rushing yards, but it is also possible that he isn't at the same workload that we're used to of Derrick Henry being one of those workhorse running backs in the NFL, and maybe we see a little bit more of D'Onta Foreman, or maybe D'Onta Foreman really is able to whittle away at Derrick Henry's workload because the guy is coming off of a pretty serious injury, and maybe they don't want to put him at 100% in this game. Now again, it is very up in the air what the workload is going to look like for Derrick Henry, and I don't think we're going to know exactly what the workload is going to be of Derrick Henry until we get in the game and actually see it with our eyes. So in my opinion, this situation gets even more dicey when you actually look at the price of Derrick Henry on all the DFS platforms, on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. We see that Derrick Henry is the highest priced running back. So you're basically paying up for Derrick Henry like he was never hurt at all, like he is going to be 100% and have a great game. Now, everyone just saw that game of the Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals, and they saw how well Cam Akers played, and now they're thinking, you know what, Cam Akers was able to come back after that Achilles in 5-6 months, so Derrick Henry can easily run for a zillion yards in this game. And maybe that turns out to be true, and maybe Derrick Henry has a phenomenal performance up against the Bengals defense, but I personally am going to be tempering my expectations of Derrick Henry. Next up, we move to a wide receiver in Randall Cobb of the Green Bay Packers. Cobb is expected to make his triumphant return this week up against the San Francisco 49ers. We have not seen him in action all the way back until week 12 up against the LA Rams. In that game, he had 4 receptions on 5 targets for 95 yards, as well as a touchdown. Deciphering which wide receiver outside of Davante Adams will have value on the Packers has been damn near impossible all season long. But with Marquez Valdes-Scantling MVS listed as doubtful, there is certainly a reason to roster Randall Cobb this week in DFS, hoping for some upside up against the 49ers. We all know how much Aaron Rodgers likes to throw the ball to Randall Cobb. The question is, will this be his game, or maybe we see Allen Lazard have a great game? Again, it has been very hard to decipher all year long, but I am definitely going to be playing some Randall Cobb this weekend. Next up, we move to Elijah Mitchell, running back of the San Francisco 49ers. So it seems like the new normal at this point that Elijah Mitchell will end up not practicing at some point throughout the week, but this new normal also involves the fact that he ends up missing practice, having zero impact on his availability for game action. It was reported yesterday on Thursday that he is going to be good to go, as he was left off of the team's final injury report. We have seen the rushing attack of the San Francisco 49ers completely dominate over the last couple of games. Last week, he rushed for 27 times for 96 yards and a score up against the Dallas Cowboys. He also had 1 reception on 2 targets for -11 yards, but normally when you get 2 targets, you get 1 reception, you're not going to end up getting -11 yards. He's not Christian McCaffrey out there. You're going to be seeing 5-6 targets every single game, but you can count him in for a couple of targets game in and game out. He has also had over 20 rushes in each of his last 6 games, so you should be very confident in playing Elijah Mitchell this week up against the Green Bay Packers run defense. But before we break down the next injury, the next news blurb, I would like to let you guys know that we have partnered with Yahoo Fantasy this NFL season to bring you guys some great offers. Check out our exclusive limited time offer, which gets you guys 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. To qualify, you need to be new to Yahoo. Sign up for an account via the link down below, deposit and play. That's it. Yahoo will send us your name after you play in your first paid contest, and we'll reach out to you via email with your coupon. If you would like to speed up that process, you want that immediate access, please email support@awesemo.com and we will get you set up. You can also claim a free $10 of site credit by clicking the link in the video description below, which can be used to enter any Yahoo contest, including the NFL $250,000 Saturday Baller, featuring no management fee, and the NFL $50,000 Everyone Wins Divisional Round Special. Make sure to use our DFS tools as well as projections designed specifically for Yahoo to give you guys the best shot at winning big. Please make sure that you check out Yahoo Fantasy, link down below in the description. Next up, we move to another 49er, and that is Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy Pornstar, quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. Based upon reports out of head coach Kyle Shanahan, Garoppolo will be all good to go, and he believes that Jimmy Garoppolo will be able to perform at the normal Jimmy G level. Now, how good is that normal Jimmy Garoppolo level? I'm not too sure. I think maybe he might make a bad decision in this game, even with him dealing with both a thumb and a shoulder injury. I don't think the upside of guys like Elijah Mitchell, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel should be impacted too much in this game. Now, George Kittle is a whole different fucking beast, because while he is one of the best tight ends in the NFL, he is also the best, in my opinion, run blocking tight end in the NFL, and he is much of the reason why Deebo Samuel as well as Elijah Mitchell are able to have such success running the football. So when it comes to playing George Kittle in DFS this weekend, I'm not all that excited, but Jimmy Garoppolo as a whole, even if he is a bit banged up with that thumb and that shoulder injury, I think he'll be just fine for the success of the other options on the 49ers. Next up, we move to Uncle Lenny, Leonard Fournette, running back of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. According to Ian Rappaport, we should be seeing Leonard Fournette suit up against the Rams this weekend. Last week, the team was without him, and they utilized a double-headed, a 1-2 punch running back system with Giovanni Bernard as well as Keyshawn Vaughn. When Fournette was healthy this season, it was very clear that he was the #1 running back on the team. There was a lot of chitter-chatter all offseason. Is it Ronald Jones? Is it Leonard Fournette? It has been very clearly Leonard Fournette. So if he does end up suiting up, I am going to be confident in him, but you have to understand that with him being banged up with this hamstring injury, we could see Giovanni Bernard having a little bit more usage than normal. I'm not saying Giovanni Bernard is going to completely eclipse past Leonard Fournette like we saw with Jerick McKinnon last week, just absolutely torched the touches of Darrell Williams, but I do think this could be a scenario where Giovanni Bernard sees a little bit more game action when compared to normal. Next up, we move to another Buccaneer, and that is Tyler Johnson, wide receiver of the Buccaneers. With back-to-back did not participates for Brashad Perriman as well as Cyril Grayson, we should be seeing Tyler Johnson elevate into the #2 receiving role on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last week up against the Philadelphia Eagles, he had just 2 receptions on 3 targets for 30 yards. If Perriman or Grayson are miraculously able to play, then the chances that Tyler Johnson ends up being a guy that I am banging the drum for aggressively in my lineups will probably go out the window. But without Grayson as well as Perriman, I am pretty interested in Johnson this week. And final player to discuss in today's video is CEH Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. Last week, Edwards-Helaire did not end up suiting up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. In that case, basically everyone and their mother pivoted towards Darrell Williams, and that pivot was a huge swing and a miss, as the man played in just 8 snaps in that game, and Jerick McKinnon looked like vintage fucking Adrian Peterson, having 12 rushes for 61 yards, as well as having 6 receptions on 6 targets for 81 yards and a touchdown. The guy had over 100 plus all-purpose yards and a score in that game. I'd say that's pretty good for a guy no one expected to play very much in that game. With that said, Edwards-Helaire was able to practice this week, but head coach Andy Reid did say that he is not fully committed to starting him. So with this game being the final game of Divisional Round Weekend on Sunday night, it seems very unlikely that we will have true clarification on if Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be the starting running back in this game or not. So that is certainly something to monitor up until Sunday Night Football. So thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. Again, if you did end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that like button as well as that subscribe button down below. Please make sure that you guys do check out Yahoo Fantasy, and make sure to follow me on Twitter at NotoriousFNTSY. I hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' day, and as always, good boy.